Welcome to Oxfordshire. Not quite the final frontier, but this place is a bit special. It's the Harwell Science Campus, a £1 billion facility that's home to a number of organisations that call themselves the UK Space Gateway. They develop and build satellites here. It's also the UK base of the European Space Agency, with a pretty funky map. We are here at the moment, and we're going to be speaking to a man who for the past 6 months has been residing here, 240 miles above us, in the International Space Station. Time to call an astronaut. Tim, this is Dan Walker with BBC Breakfast at Harwell. How do you hear me?
Hello, Dan. I can hear you loud and clear.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us on BBC Breakfast this morning. So under 3 weeks to go until you return home from the International Space Station. What are your overriding emotions? Is it relief? Is it excitement?
You know, actually, we kind of work on a day-to-day basis. So although I'm very conscious of the fact that I do return in less than 3 weeks, we've still got an awful lot of work to do up here. We've still got one of our cargo vessels, Cygnus, is still docked to the space station. We're busy loading that, and that will actually depart before I depart. So there's still a lot of things to happen, and so I take each day at a time. Lots of still science going on a daily basis. But of course, I am looking forward to seeing friends and family again, and I am looking forward to coming back to planet Earth.
Tim, what's the highlight of your time in space been?
Do you know, the whole experience has been absolutely incredible and so much more than I imagined. But if I did have to pick one thing, it would be doing the spacewalk, and it would be the first moment that I kind of came out of the airlock, and Tim Copra, my NASA colleague, and myself, we went outside and did that spacewalk. It was an amazing feeling.
Yeah, Tim, that's perfect framing right there. We like that.
Tim, what do you think is next for you? We were speaking to Helen Sharman, who was a trailblazer, of course, in your line of work many years ago. We spoke to her just last week, and she said the great hope is that Tim isn't the last, that we continue to do this, and there's a really bright future for British astronauts in space.
Absolutely, and I fully intend to continue my work with the European Space Agency, representing the UK within human spaceflight, and I hope that the UK continues to participate in human spaceflight as well into the future. We've got such an exciting times coming up, so I want the UK to be a firm player in those human spaceflight missions and exploration missions of the future, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be. And I certainly hope that I'm not the last UK astronaut to fly in space. I hope there's many UK school kids today who can fulfill an ambition one day of becoming an astronaut.
Some quick fire ones to finish off with. Lots of people sending their questions in for you, Tim. Steph would like to know, what is the first meal you will have on your return to Earth?
Well, the unhealthy version would be pizza. The healthy version would be a nice fresh salad with some fresh fruit. Both actually I really crave. Go for the pizza.
One more from Adrian. He says, you've seen some remarkable things from space. We've seen some of your wonderful photographs as well. Having seen all that, is there a place, or maybe some places on Earth you would now like to go and see in person, having seen them from so many miles above?
That's a great question. There are so many places I'd love to go and see, and everything has just been incredible. It's been wonderful to actually watch the planet changing seasons, you know, seeing the northern hemisphere going from snow and ice through spring into summer, and in the southern hemisphere watching places like Patagonia, you know, absolutely stunning countries and areas of the world that I hadn't seen before. So there are plenty of places